So today we're going to work on a basic mobility flow. You can use this either as a way to get woken up in the morning, or you could use it as a warm-up for a more heavy strength-based workout. I use a mobility flow based on this sort of sequence every time I go to the gym. So we'll get set up, have you sit on the ground with your feet out in front of you. Your knees will be bent at about 90 degrees, heels on the ground, and you can adjust as you need, but the goal here is to bring your knee down to the opposite heel and go from side to side. Your hands can be on the ground behind you. In fact, I encourage that. Some people like to have their hands up and look a little more like this, but we're really just going for a more gentle motion here, getting the hips woken up, seeing where there's any restriction in the body. See if there's anything that we can pay a little more attention to as the sequence moves on. So now you're going to come to one side, lift the other hand and twist, reaching behind you, and then come back and do the other side. Noticing if you're tighter on one side or the other, feeling the stretch in your trunk, in your hips, all the way through to your shoulders. And come back to center. So we're going to come into the 90-90 position because your hips are at a 90-degree angle to one another and your knees are both bent at 90 degrees. You're going to go to one side and you're going to fold forward over the front thigh, trying not to flex too much through your spine, trying to fold through your hips. You'll mostly feel that through the outside of the front hip and maybe a little bit in that back hip as well. So move forward and then come back up. And we'll switch sides. Once again, just taking note of any differences between each side. Noticing if one side could use a little more attention, you could spend a little more time on that side. Totally not necessary if everything's feeling good. You're going to come back to the center now and put your feet together. And don't worry if your knees can't get towards the floor, that's fine. You're up here, that's great. If you're a little more open, that's great. You're going to grab your feet, keep your chest up, and just fold forward. Don't worry, you can flex your spine here. You can bend over. But what we're looking for is a nice stretch in the inner thigh up into the groin. We're not going to spend too much time here because we are going to move to another stretch that hits the same area. We'll do one more rep here. Come back up and we'll switch. So now we're going to get into the frog stretch. I'm going to go about as wide as feels comfortable with the knees. You want a nice stretch on the inner thigh, again, up into the groin. We want it to feel comfortable and to have some room to play with, because what we're going to do is hold this position and then slowly push back and stretch and then release. Stretch and then release. We'll spend some time here noticing if everything starts to loosen up. The more you do it, hopefully it does, but if it doesn't, that's fine. The more you do this flow, the more loose and limber you should feel. You're going to come back, you're going to bring your knees in slightly, kick one leg out to the side just to emphasize that inner thigh stretch on one side, and then do the same thing. Push back, come forward. And we'll switch sides. Now we're going to come back to center. Nice even stance, still in the quadruped position. We're just going to do some cat-cows. So you're going to drop your head, tuck your pelvis, and push your spine up into the air, and then reverse. Get some nice motion into your spine. We'll just have you lunge forward with one leg. Keep the opposite hand on the ground. You can keep the back knee on the ground, or you can lift it up. You're going to take the free hand. You're going to take the free hand, and you're going to reach through the window, and then rotate up. You're going to reach through, rotate up. And we're going to switch sides. Same thing, you can keep the back knee down or lift, and then take that free hand, reach through, and then open up. So that's the flow. Like I said, you can use that in the morning or use it as a warm-up for a more intense strength or cardio session. But the more that you stick with it, the more limber you'll feel and the better you'll feel overall.